Hi, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Greetings to you from wherever you're watching from and whatever the time is there. My name is Annabelle Benson. I'm the general manager of Corinthia Villa Hotel and I am your Hospitality Edge coach. Hospitality Edge is basically a platform where we share ideas, knowledge, skills, tips, just everything you need to know about the hospitality industry. And even if your industry doesn't fall under the hospitality industry, but you deal with clients, you deal with guests, you're a service provider, you're a company, you're an industry, you're an organization, I can assure you that you benefit a lot from the tips that we share here. Today, we're dealing with a topic that I think everybody should benefit from, and it is different work personalities. We're dealing with different work personalities. You know how you have different temperament types. You have the sanguine, choleric, you have the phlegmatic, you have the melancholy. Today, we are talking about work personality types. Work personality types. This is key to team management. This is key to role assignment. This is key to boosting productivity generally in the workplace. If you know who somebody is, if you know somebody's personality type in the workplace or in an organization, you know how to, channel such person's energy, right, and you know how to suppress such person's weakness as well. You know, the first personality type is the leader. I think I have about 8 personalities here, but for the sake of time, I will probably break this video into 2 parts. But let's start and see how it goes. The first personality type in the workplace is the leader. This one wants to lead. This person, his or her common traits is confidence, decisiveness. They like to take charge. They are good in delegation. They are good in making things happen. They are good in telling everybody what to do. They could also be perceived as bossy. Yeah, they could also be perceived as bossy. So this person, the best place or the best role this person can assume is a managerial role, a supervisory role, a role that makes the person in charge. So when you see a leader acting under a team, working as a team player or follower or working as a follower basically, so that this person struggles because this person is a leader. This person wants to be in charge. Even you as a person, it's necessary that you know where you fall under so that you know how to control it. But number one is a leader. They are good. They are good in making decisions. They are good in taking tough calls, making tough decisions, guiding every other person. But they're not good in following. And they're not very patient people. So that's number one. Number two is the team player. This one is very good in following. If you put him in charge, that role, that responsibility is going to suffer. This person is good in supporting. Yes, I know. As I'm even mentioning each of the roles, I already know who and who in my organization or around me that I know can fall under each of these personality types. The team player, they like things to be. They like harmony. They like togetherness. They like cooperation. They know how to support very well. They know how to work with everybody. It doesn't matter who you are. And bear in mind that you could have two personality roles types or more. You could have two or more personality types, just as it applies in the sanguine, melancholy, phlegmatic and choleric. You could be one. You could be two. You could even have a trait of all. Basically, the weakness of this kind of person is they don't like to take the lead. They avoid conflict, they avoid tough calls and tough decisions, but they are very good with following, they are very good with supporting. The best role that this person can fit into is you join them together with other people to handle projects. They will do well there. But you put them in charge as you put the leader, that project is going to suffer because they are not going to know how to navigate it. But they are fantastic when it comes to working as a team. The third personality type here, the third work personality type here is the achiever. This one is just goal oriented. He's just after the goal. What's goal? Let's meet it. They are very driven by results. They are very competitive. Oh my God. They are very competitive. They are after excellence. They're after delivering on the goal, But the weakness of this kind of person is they are too focused on performance that they neglect basic relationship. They are too focused on performance that they neglect basic process. Are you seeing these differences now? So the best roles that such people can, fit under in the organization is sales, marketing, any department that is performance based. Okay, what's your target for the month? Let's meet the target. Basically, that's where the achiever can fall under. The next point is the thinker. Some people are good thinkers. They are analytical, they are detail oriented, they are methodical, they like to follow process, they like to follow like step by step process. They are great at solving problems. Oh, because they know how to analyze each situation. They know how to analyze each situation to point out what the problem is. The disadvantage of the weakness of this kind of people is that they tend to overthink things and then they resist quick decisions. When you want a decision to be made on the spot, they cannot make decisions on the spot because they need to think. They need to analyze, they need to think things through. So the roles that this kind of people can fit into is finance, logistics, admin. Yeah. Finance, logistics, and admin. The next point, which is the fifth, is the creative personality type. This person, in fact, I know somebody already. They love new ideas. They can imagine things. They're so innovative. They can come up with anything. If you want them to think for you, they can come up with beautiful ideas. They might not be able to execute it, but they will come up with all manner of beautiful ideas. This is where you now hand over to the achiever or you hand over to the leader. These ideas that they've come up with. They come up with fresh perspective, solutions and all the likes. That's what these people come up with. But their weakness is they don't have structure and they don't have consistency. Because today they're telling you that the best way to go about this thing is have yellow ribbons all over the place. How do we go about buying the yellow ribbons? I might not tell you. Where can we buy these yellow ribbons? They will not tell you. But they can imagine these things for you. So they lack structure. They lack consistency. So you can also put them in things like branding. If you have a branding arm in your organization, let them be under the branding arm, event planning, event design, and sometimes marketing as well. Because we have sales and then we have marketing. They can be in marketing to bring about promo ideas, to bring about different ideas to move the organization forward, basically. The next point is the helper. These ones are caring, service oriented. They want to be part of a team. They want to help. They can go out of their ways. People are excellent with customers. They know how to build relationships. They know how to follow things through to the end and ensure that somebody is well. What somebody requested, the person gets it. That's the helper. But they can be so emotionally drained. They can become emotionally drained, yes, because when you're trying to help everybody, it can get draining, right? So this person can get emotionally drained and too self-sacrificing. These people can be in customer service. They do well in the hotel. In the hospitality industry, we are all helpers. We're all trained to be helpers, generally, right? But this person can function well in the customer service industry or in the human resource departments. Basically, the seventh point here is the seventh personality type here is the organizer. This one knows how to put things together. This person can be mistaken for the leader. Now, the person can be an organizer but not be able to lead people to organization, right? So this person is disciplined, he's efficient, dependable, they know how to put things together, they know how to make things run smoothly, they know how to follow rules, schedules, regulations, processes, and procedures. But they can be rigid, very, very rigid, because they've planned that this is how they want to be. Like I said, you can have several work personality types. You can even have all in little, tiny, tiny bits. You can be one, you can be two, you can be eight of them. You just know where to find yourself and how to follow through with such people. This person is rigid because they've planned themselves, and anything that goes outside of that their plan is a problem. These people can operate well under admin as well. They can also operate in the operations department, management support as well. The final point is the perfectionists. The perfectionist can be confused with the organizer, but no, the perfectionist is someone that has high standard, focus on details, quality driven, excellent processing. This person wants excellent processing, and you can rely on them to get a job done. Yes, because they want things done, arranged in a certain way, done in a certain way, done at a certain time. That's how the perfectionist is. Their weakness can be that they may micromanage other people because they're trying to get the thing all together. So there's a tendency to want to micromanage it because you want this thing to be done perfectly, right? And then sometimes it takes too long to complete tasks. So when you're waiting for something to be done perfectly, it might take too long to complete the task. But these people could function well under audits, quality control, yes, and guest relations. Now, there is no personality type that is bad. There's no personality type that is disadvantaged in any way. All these 8 personality types put together make an organization function perfectly. And if as a person you operate under all 8, you also need to know when to bring out each of these personality types so that a particular project, a particular goal, a particular organization doesn't suffer. It's also important to recognize the different personality types in all your colleagues or all your staff or something. It helps you to know how to delegate work right and how to delegate roles and responsibilities right. I hope you've been able to learn something today. Thank you so much for watching. Till we see you next time. Bye.